Hello, everyone. I am surprised that this person is with me today. She's not a person like this. She's a very amazing person. The reason why I wanted to book this is because I think most of you guys know from BBB, but she only posts about random stuffs in BBB. And I don't think that reflects the type of person she is. And she has a lot of things to say, a lot of stories to share. So this video is sponsored by Victoria's Secrets. Not yet. In a couple of years. So we have Nawal Naz. Nawal Naz, I do not want to introduce you because you have a lot of things going on under your belt. So if you become famous in the next 10 years, how would you introduce yourself to a reporter? So go ahead.
Wait, you told me this wasn't going to be an interview, but all right. Okay, so if I were to introduce myself 10 years later, I would say that, wait, how old am I? Okay, or I'm old, that realization. But yeah, I would introduce myself as a stand-up comedian, an aspiring stand-up comedian who wants to only make people laugh. And on the occasion, I try to write and stuff. And definitely I would, I think want people to join the Arctic Monkeys fandom, because Arctic Monkeys is the best band in the history, of music, obviously, but that's debatable. I might piss off some Beatles fans, so I will keep that opinion to myself. But yeah, that's how I think I'd introduce myself 10 years down the line. But if I were to introduce myself right now, I am Nawal Naz Tariq. A lot of people don't know that my last name is Tariq, so that's something. I graduated from academia in and I finished off A-levels in May of 2020. I recently got into a very, very, very small Ivy League school, so that's something. And yeah, I'm interested to share my experiences today.
Amazing. So just to reiterate, the small Ivy League that she's talking about is called Yale University, one of the most smallest acceptance rate of all time. I think it's 5% or 6% this year. It's very small. She loves being humble, and that's who she is. But Nawal, two things that you said. The first one is stand-up comedian or humorous type of a part, and the choto writer type of a part that you said. Not to mention your string of accomplishments that you have, but talk about stand-up comedian. I think very few people actually know this, that you are not a nerd that got a 1500 plus in SAT and got into a university. There's a lot more to it. So go ahead. Humor.
So humor has been my coping mechanism, and for a lot of people that might sound like a cliche line, and I think it is. Mm-hmm. But I always try to use humor as a way to connect with people, whether it be through very, very, very lame jokes and lame puns that I have inherited courtesy of my teammate, my old former debate team, or whether it be just through inappropriate jokes, that are PG-13 and everything. But we won't go there. But yeah, humor has been my icebreaker with people, and because I think I've been a nerd, or at least I've been stereotyped as the nerd, as someone who's all into books and everything, and that's all her life's about. So for the longest time, pop culture wasn't my strength, right? So music and movies, they weren't my strengths. Even at some point, even books weren't my strength, because I simply didn't find the time to read books outside of textbook, which is a very sad life. I will have to personally admit, it was a very sad life. So humor was my way of connecting with people and bonding with people. So I always want to make people laugh, even though I've never really entered or dabbled around the world of stand-up comedy in Bangladesh. I know a friend who goes to Ryerson who has, but I would definitely like to try to start that life, if I hopefully go abroad. So yeah, and you should definitely check out, I think, what was her name? Ali Wong or Ali Wang. I will link it to her. I will give you the link so that you can promote her. She's a top-notch comedian. Makes absolutely really cool.
Crazy. So, you said that you write, right? So I do realize that being someone who has been through the application process, that your essays should have a particular emotion. So do you write essays which are humorous, happy, sad ending, or it depends on the topic that Ivy Leagues were giving to you after one after the other? Or did you have a particular mentality to for example, if the admission officer reads this, she's gonna laugh, he's gonna laugh, or he's gonna cry at the end? So what was your entire view on that?
I think my goal was never to, at least if you're talking about like application specific essays, it was never to like evoke any, like it was definitely to evoke an emotion, but I think my greater purpose was to tell a story, right? So I always like people who tell very good stories. I have envied that myself because I'm not a very good storyteller, at least, not with words. But in writing, I try to be a good storyteller. And that's what I always try to do within my essays, that I always try to write a story. So it would sometimes the emotions would be very sad, sometimes the emotion would be very heartwarming, and sometimes the emotion could just be very romantic actually, because I even wrote an essay which was specifically about a very romantic moment that I had with someone that we won't name because privacy. Yes. But yeah, I think definitely evoking an emotion within the person who reads it, whether it be an admissions officer, whether it be just your neighborhood, acquaintance, that's absolutely, and like that's something that people should definitely strive for, and that's something I strive for as well.
That's an amazing way of putting that. So, like, prior to your application process, like you said that you're a writer. I've seen your portfolio, jotted to Facebook as that small part, and I kind of understand that you are into writing, right? So, do you really think that this writing practice that you had even before college application, that is actually important for writing essays? Or let's say a lot of people who are into college application, they have a very common question that I do not know how to write. So, but I have everything. Let's say that person is even a gold medalist in an olympiad or like the top debater in the world, but we all know that college application is not only about what you do, it's also about how you reflect what you do. So being someone who has a lot of experience in this writing sector, give us a couple of tips to those beginners that do not know how to.
So I think the first thing I would definitely tell people, like the first tip I'd give is actually not related to writing, but it's actually related to more of your idea generation, something I call ideation, right? Something, it's a word.
Right.
Because I think one thing that definitely helped my essay stand out, whether it be my personal statement or whether it be just my supplementary essays, was the fact that they were all unique ideas, right? They were all ideas that were unique to my experiences and my experiences only. See, I think one thing a lot of people forget when they're doing applications is that they're also human beings, right? Their experiences, their stories, their anecdotes are worth talking about, right? Because they have some meaning or some connection to them. And I think that's the first thing that you need to do, to find that idea that is probably most relevant in that scenario. It might be an idea that's like seems inherently meaningless, but if you think a little bit, if you just like reflect yourself, then you can find some meaning to it. The second I would definitely recommend is, I think if you're like absolute basics and beginnings, like if you're absolutely like beginner in writing, then definitely I think taking online courses help, but like they only help if you keep up the practice. So this might seem unintuitive, but I would definitely recommend people to like understand storytelling and to practice storytelling. So like literally writing like fantasy stories or just, random like fictional stories instead of just like essays. Because I think that helps you to understand like a lot of aspects of writing that aren't really discussed in like, an academic setting. So for instance, I think, a lot of people from the national curriculum even ask me, because I think they've genuinely struggled more with writing rather than people who come from like English medium background.
Right.
So like for them, it's far more formulaic than it is for us. And I think many aspects of that creative process isn't something that they delve into deeper. So things like maintaining a proper flow within your essay, or things like understanding better words to use, right? These are only things you can develop after, you write a lot of fiction and you show it to other people and they point it out to you, right? People who are experienced or who are seasoned, right? They show it to you. So I would definitely recommend people just write stories, right? Just go to Reddit. There's a subreddit called Writing Prompts. You can just like take a topic from there and just write a story. It doesn't have to be too long. It doesn't have to be like 10,000 words long. It doesn't have to be 300 words. Just write whatever you want and then show it to someone and see whether that idea sells, how the transition goes, how's the opening, how's the ending, stuff like that.
that makes a lot of sense. Like I can totally understand to that. And perfect. Yeah. So I can totally relate to what you're saying, Nawal. And as you already said, that there's two aspects to it. Some people can tell amazing stories verbally. Like that's where I consider myself to be in, given that I have been doing public speaking for a long time. And you said that you can definitely do that through your words, right? And that is absolutely understandable. However, the thing that people confuse themselves, let's say if I write a humorous story and ami amar nijer joke hashi, if I laugh at my own jokes, or if I cry reading my own story, then there is a mistake, right? That's happening. So, and you are saying that everything, go to a subreddit, do this and that. So I think the first recommendation for the people who are applying next year is start right now. Like start as early as possible. It's because it takes a lot of time to formulate that, especially if you're not from an English curriculum. So, like, do you value that?
Yep.
Definitely.
Yeah, I definitely think one of the mistakes I made during my application season is that I did not start early. I think back in like April last year, I kannakati kortechilam because I was watching Haikyuu and I just could not get over some of the scenes and I was like rewatching them. And so it's so heartwarming to see a lot of people already are working on things,
right? And
are starting to do things themselves. So it's generally good to see so many people putting in the effort and reaching out to us and everything. So I really appreciate all that. But I would also say that do that as well as like take breaks. So like I have a very hectic schedule. So today it was a very free day for me, and that relieved my stress to a significant degree. So that's also kind of important, maintaining that balance, because otherwise what's going to happen is the term I use is called creative juice. So all your creative juice is going to get sucked out if the stress is blocking and like filling up your head. So it's important to maintain that work life or like that essay preparation or college preparation versus like rest life very well. I'm not still the best at it. I don't think a lot of people are very good at it, but still trying to maintain that balance, that itself is like I think the first step.
Perfect. That's exactly what people have to do, because trust me, when you enter college, there's nothing called break, right? There's nothing called break. Honestly, like producers, like I think the reason why I'm able to handle a couple of things at the same time right now is because everything is online. But when you're traveling from one corner of the campus to the other, then your stress is completely done. You're done for the day, basically. Like now I'll just wait until you go to Connecticut. Like trust me, it's not the easiest life. It's really hectic. But so by the way, I had a question. Like, was this your like first year applying, or like is this the second time that you're applying to the universities?
This was my first year applying.
So you basically took a gap year after your A levels, right? Now this is a very important question. That gap year, right, is taking first of all, like I think I'll break it down into a couple of questions. So for example, in our school, like in CGS, taking a gap year is not the norm unless you are from like going to the Australian parts of the country, the Caribbean parts where the classes start in February, March. But like we normally try to apply within, right after we finish class 11 and start class 12, right? But that becomes again very hectic. And like, of course, thank God the pandemic happened. I'm not saying because a lot of things happened, but like I got the predicted grades. I had 5 A stars, but I would not have gotten 5 A stars, trust me. But yeah, so talking about a non-pandemic world, I believe that gap year is necessary, but at the same time, it's not when you like just use it for finishing all the Netflix series, right? So yeah, coming back to you, how did you utilize your gap year? And do you think that the gap year was necessary for you in order to get into your, I hope that, these are dream university. So let's say getting into your dream university.
All right, I'll come to the dream university a bit later, but the way I utilized my gap year was, first of all, I didn't want to take a gap year. So I did want to apply in 2019, but I didn't because I had some parental restrictions. But this year they kind of like, they basically gave in to what I wanted. So that's a like win for me. But anyway,
now তুই জানি যে তুই টিকবি, তুই apply কর আর তুই টিকে দেখাইছো, শাবাশ, like this is what we need.
ধন্যবাদ. So what I did was, at the end of 2019, my debating career basically ended. because of reasons, and I just wasn't invested. I actually wasn't invested by them. Debating sort of like tired me out. It made me very exhausted. I was no longer passionate for the sport.
Okay.
So what I decided was that I was going to divest my interests away from debating. So what I did was I joined an organization called Kotha in February 2020. That was basically how it began. So that's where I trained to be a peer educator. I'm still in training, and there we worked on like a lot of things. I genuinely believe that I am a better feminist today, and I learned a lot of concepts of a lot of things about feminist theory that I had not learned before. A lot of things about like power structures and power dynamics and how that's, institutionalized. So basically how it's like sort of like propagated over and over again. So that was very, I think, like genuinely helpful for my growth as a person. I also started working in a few more organizations later down the year. One is I joined InclusionX as a writer. I have a couple of blogs published there, so I have some like pretty good work there. And I led a campaign, sort of like a social media campaign that's going to start actually very soon. It's called it's basically a disability language guide, so that neurotypical people like you and me can learn how to use better words to make like how to use words that like include like neurodivergent, so basically people within the disabled community. So that's that. I also finished being like I graduated as a campus ambassador from Oralto Foundation in around I think June or July, and so from there on I worked as a blog writer there, and there I think Brack J like James P. Grant J researcher J so there like funded like project. I basically worked on one of their blogs. I wrote it, researched on it, and got it published. So that was good. What else? What else? I read books. I tried to read books. I'm reading more books this year. So not write, read. Sorry.
Yeah, that's.
But yeah, I had not read books in a long time, so I tried to like sort of get back to it. That kind of helped. Yeah. And so the other thing I did was I started freelancing. So first I joined a skincare company where I worked as a content writer. I eventually became I was the head of content there for a while. Then I left the place, but during that time I met who is currently like my boss. And like boss both, he basically hands me content. So this is he basically gives me clients. I work for them. So that's that. So Okhanteka, I sort of like started learning SEO friendly writing, like search engine optimization friendly writing, how to deal with WordPress. So I've been doing that ever since. Ekhono kaj kori. I think I also took on jobs as a TA. So my chemistry teacher, like my high school chemistry teacher, Hasib sir, I started working for him as a TA immediately after like my A-level results came out. So yeah, that's that. Arki. What else?
A lot of things in one year, trust me. That is a lot.
I now that I go back to it and think about it, it does sound like it's a lot. And in May I organized like with the help of my friends, I organized a League of Legends tournament. So OTAR through there, what we did was we basically like the registration fees we had, we basically collaborated with like Project Devi and Oralto Foundation, and we gave all the registration fee to them. So that helped, I think, to fund like around like 274 bags of rice. And this was particularly for the hijab community.
I remember that. They even had I think they also had কি বলা জানি আরে বিদেশে যে লিংক থাকে আরে বিদেশি বিকাশ, what do you call that? PayPal, sorry. Oh my god, yeah. So
বিদেশি বিকাশ. That's a lovely term, বিদেশি বিকাশ. Nice.
Yeah, so like they had a PayPal account, and a lot of Americans also helped যারা মানে অরথর মানে people কে জানতো and everything.
Yeah. So we sort of like collaborated with them. So before the pandemic hit, we were supposed to organize a tournament called Shevolution. So like this was a debating tournament, and I was like the only high schooler who was in the organizing committee of that. So it was like, You asked me what I did in my gap year, so I'm telling you. So
only high school ta na bollo cholto, but like I understand how to have that part. Yeah.
Hey, that's how it was marketed. So I'm gonna flex if that's how it was marketed. But yeah, so we were about to like literally like have the tournament out, but that's when the pandemic hit. But as part of the org.com, I went to like different like offices to like pitch sponsorships to like different corporate offices to like different companies. And I was also part of community outreach. So I went to schools like Lakehead Grammar School to basically talk about debating, to make sure that remote clubs like theirs could like participate and get introduced to the circuit. And so yeah, that's what I did. So did I do anything else?
You got into university, 7 months later on. Yeah, I got it. Like pretty much I understand this. Like it's crazy.
Yeah, but yeah, this is mostly it. Yeah.
A lot of things. Like so yeah, exactly. So the people who are thinking that tomra gap year niba, see this lady and try to decipher what he has done. And obviously you do not have to be Nawal. Nawal is Nawal, you are you, but like try to utilize it in your own way. That's the most important thing that matters. And arta jinish Nawal, which I highly loved about your application, like as of now, and your personality as well. And this is just a reminder to everyone. Ajkal amra jeta dekhtechi Nawal, I don't know if you have seen this or not, but ever since the pandemic started, I think I have seen at least minimum 100 new organizations pop up, right? So youth organizations, right? Because apparently they believe that in their application, they're gonna say like, for example, the founder and chief executive officer, the president of this and that organization. But like the thing that I started ROIC when I was like in grade 9, right? And a lot of people I've seen these days, they're starting a youth organization. They're doing something and they're starting a youth organization. But the thing that I am loving about your application is you joined in organizations even as a campus ambassador, and then again you were also the head of certain organizations that you joined, as you said, the skincare thing where you were leading your own thing and etc., and other campaigns that you were leading as well. The thing that a lot of Bangladeshis do not understand, specifically telling Bangladeshis, because amra hoitechi emotional jati, right? Like jokhoni kichu boli we get directed towards that part and etc. What we don't understand is, even if you are the CEO of a company, you can be useless. And even if you are a joining intern, you can be more useful. So it does not matter which organization you are joining. It matters what you are contributing to the organization. And that is something that I loved about your application, is because tumi jekhanei join korcho, you are leaving an impact in that organization. Like choto hok boro hok, you're doing something. So I'm tomake praise kortechi. And she did not pay me, people, like we just met. আমি এগুলো মন থেকে বলতেছি. So Nawal, মানে ইয়েলে গিয়ে তুমি আমাকে খাওয়াবো, আমি তোমাকে খাওয়াবো না. So yeah, that is
absolutely. And it's not conditional. Like তুমি আমাকে praise না করলেও তোমাকে খাওয়াবো.
Oh, mashallah. দেখছো মানে ভালো একটা মেয়ে. That's why she got into here, because she is giving. মানুষদেরকে ভালোবাসে. Like selfish না. But yeah, Nawal, I have this not question for you. Question গুলো তো আবার interview type হয়ে যায়, but I want your suggestion on a couple of things. The first thing হচ্ছে, a lot of people say Olympiads are a must, right? Ekhon porjonto this thing is going, and I am so happy. I don't know whether you did Olympiad or not. I hope you know. Of course not. Correct.
মানে ওই আমি স্কুলে হচ্ছে ম্যাথ অলিম্পিয়াড করতাম, লাইক ইন্টারেস্ট স্কুল, লাইক স্কুলে করতাম। ইট ওয়াজ নেভার ওই যে ন্যাশনাল অলিম্পিয়াড বিডিএমও তা বা এসব কিছু করি নাই।
Then you're valid for this question, right? So there's a very common question. I do not have anything against Olympiads, but I have people, like I'm against people who say that Olympiads are everything. Of course, it's an international recognition. You get an award, but just to clarify, you are Nawal Naz. You have a Bangladeshi green passport, and you got into Yale University, which is an Ivy League, and you did not have any national or international level Olympiad medal. Is that true or not?
Yes, I solemnly swear that I am Nawal Naz. I got into Yale University without having any international or national Olympiad or medal.
Exactly. So this is to everyone. আবার তোমরা Olympiad করা ছেড়ে দিও না. Do not stop doing Olympiads because Nawal Naz is not doing Olympiads. It's like if that's something that you love to do, go for it. If that's something you do not just show the like admissions officer that you did it because Nawal Naz did it or your senior Apu or Bhaiya did it. Like I never did it, given that I have two amazing seniors from Chittagong Grammar School. Ekta hoche Brishti Shikdar Apu, which a couple of you guys might know, and also Dipro Bhai, he's in Yale. So these two people got in through Olympiads, right? And that put a huge pressure on us. যারা বলতেছে না অলিম্পিয়াড করতেই হবে, বাট আই নেভার লাইকড ইট। আই এম লাইক পড়ালেখা শেষ করবো আবার পড়ালেখার বই ধরবো। আই এম নট আ পারসন লাইক দ্যাট। সো আইদার গল্পের বই পড়ো লাইক নাওয়াল নাজ, অথবা মুভি দেখো লাইক ডিপ্রো। মুভিজ আর বেটার দেন গল্পের বই। উই ক্যান কাম টু আ হিউজ ডিবেট অন দ্যাট, বাট আই এম নট গোনা গো ইনটু দ্যাট।
It's fine. I watch movies too. Recently, I think like Promising Young Woman Dixie. Very good movie. Everyone should watch. Amazing. Also, City of God Dixie. So if you're into foreign films, amazing. You should watch definitely.
So that thing is completely clear. Now let's talk about what if Yale hoto na, right? So I think all of you guys already know this, that Nawal Naz, I think nijeke shantona dawar jonno, but for some reason she posted the night before, hi everyone, today is the IB day. I know that none of you guys will get accepted, but তারপর বলে রাখতেছি যদি পাও আমাকে মনে রাখো, and if you don't get accepted, like don't get worried. হ্যাঁ, কেউ চান্স পায় নাই, বেটিটা ঠিকই ইয়েলের সিট নিয়ে নিছে। এখন my question is now, the pre-IB day, I totally understand you got into some other colleges, so my first question is অন্য কি কলেজের মানে অফার্স ছিল which you might have chosen if তোমাকে ইয়েল না দিত চান্স, and the second question is the pre-IB day মানে thought, feeling, যে how to overcome that. Obviously কেউ overcome করতে পারে না, but like কি চলতেছিল তোমার মনে? যেটা ইন্টারভিউ শুরু
So
go ahead.
So I was very, I think ওই দিন আমার কাচ্ছি, I forgot what I did ওই দিন, but I think আমি স্টুডেন্ট পড়াইছিলাম। স্টুডেন্ট পড়ানো শেষ করে আমি হচ্ছে I think like I was very energetic ওই দিন, so আমি জাস্ট পোস্টটা লিখে কিছুক্ষণ অবজার্ভ করে আমি গোসল গেছি। গোসল করে also you should bath every single day. Hey, it's a bad habit I've developed because of the pandemic. Hey, please return to bathing every day, and like dupure, not rate, thanda. But I think like when I was worried because I did get an interview from Yale, but by then there were other universities or colleges যেখানে আমি অনেক effort দিয়েছিলাম, but that did not have fruitful results. One of the most significant ones is Yale NUS. Yale NUS এ আমি ইন্টারভিউ দিয়েছিলাম। The interview went well as well, at least that's what I think. আমি ওদের যে অপশনাল যে এসেটা, হিডেন এসে যেটাকে বলে, অপশনাল এসে সাবমিট করেছি, and even a senior of mine there who studies there, Faris Apu, সে আমাকে আশ্বাস দিল যে হ্যাঁ, like you know, তুমি যদি if you get an interview and everything, there's a high chance that there is a good chance that you might get in. But yeah, I think she also did warn me it would be unpredictable now, and that's what happened. I didn't get in. So back then I was a bit skeptical যে আচ্ছা ইয়ে থেকে ইন্টারভিউ পাইছি, interview by like ঠিক আছে পাইছি, but there is a chance that I might get rejected. So I was a bit worried as well, obviously very nervous. So what I did was আমি রাত 12টা একটার দিকে I went on call with my partner's সাথে কলে গেলাম। We talked about a lot of things, and we talked about IB thing, অনেক কিছু নিয়ে হলো, and then like ভোর 5টার সময় ও আমার সাথে ছিল, ও আমার সাথে থাকতে চাইছে for the decision. That's the reason why I actually don't have a rejection letter, because we sort of like opened it together and then খুললাম। So the thing with Yale is like they give you a video first and then the letter. So I was unsure শুরুতে, and then videoটা দেখার পর আমি দেখছি and I was like, oh, I got in, and was like, oh my god, congratulations. I was like, I know. And yeah, that's how it went. It was very nerve-wracking, but then I kind of like called my friends, screenshotted it with them, and then somebody's like তোর পোস্টটা এখন এত ironic হবে. So that's how I would recount it. I don't know how to sort of like say how to deal with it, because the truth is there is no way to deal with it. It is something you will have to feel, you will have to go through it. I think it, as Dipro mentioned, it was easier for me because I already did have offers. So I did have backup plans. But for people who had no other choice, I absolutely understand if you feel really nervous. Tokon, I think the best thing to do is like, spend time with your friends, distract yourself in any way you can, right? Like watch movies, play games, if you have loved ones, spend time with them, spend quality time with them, write poetry if that helps, anything that helps at that point, because it is going to be nerve-wracking. You can even sleep through it if you want, like ghum theke uthe lagle shokale dekho decision. That's absolutely fine. You don't have to see it at like 5. That doesn't work. I know. That doesn't work. But you can do that. Like it is possible. So yeah, you can do that. So it's fine. So that's
makes a lot of sense. If you don't mind sharing, Nawal, and by the way, before I ask you this question, I know why Yale anyways rejected you. You know that Yale anyways and Yale are the same institution, 2 different year. So Yale anyways janto je na to already Yale gese and ami kokhono ke anyways nitam na. So that is the reason why Yale anyways rejected you. Because yeah, that is basically the thing. So do not worry. You can literally ask them, did I get rejected from your institution because I got into main Yale University? That would be amazing if you go and have a look. But yeah, that's amazing. So Tomar, you talked about your backup plans. So what were your backup plans, if you don't mind sharing? Like Kiki Chilo, and we're also going to talk about your failures, because people think Nawal got into Yale, her life is full of acceptances. I'm sure that's definitely not that. Everyone goes through at least one rejection letter, and Nawal already bolo. But talk about your backup plans and talk about the universities that you refused. You got rejected. Yeah.
So I got into Rochester, Bates, Wesleyan, Haverford, Bryn Mawr, Smith, Williams, UT Dallas, Drexel, and US universities. Hong Kong University, I got a full ride, which is CTU, and I got 2 full rides at Charao at Haverford and Wesleyan. So that's that. My backup plans were Wesleyan আর Bates আমার যাওয়ার ইচ্ছা ছিল, but I think I was focusing a little bit more on Haverford and Williams. Haverford because ওখানে I have a friend there, Intima Masan, super nice guy, super humble guy. So I have a friend there. Plus it's very close to the city, Philadelphia main short থেকে, it's 20 minutes away. So that's definitely an offer that I was considering. I was considering Williams as well, particularly because their math department is very good. And definitely I think they did offer me, they didn't give me a full ride, but they did give me close to a full ride. And that would have been a very affordable offer for me. So I think jodi Yale na hoito, I would have had to sit with seniors from there and seniors from Haverford and have a chat with my parents. Asha thik ache Williams if it's better education, math department wise. But hey, even though it's a bit more expensive, should I go there? I never had that conversation because got into Yale. But yeah, I would have had to have that discussion.
Talented. I got it. Thank you so much for sharing this story. I noticed something about your college selection, that most, if not all of them, were liberal arts colleges or focused. So was that intentional, or was it because they just give amazing financial aid, or was it a combination of both?
So thing is, a lot of people ask me, Acha, how do I make a college, or how do I make a university? And if I'm being honest with them, my strategy was, having to knock this, because my typical way of knocking somebody is, what I did. And so after knocking him this 9 or 10 times, I'm okay, which universities give a lot of aid? So this was I think back in probably April, May, when Samin sort of explained to me, liberal arts colleges give a lot of aid, and public universities that are like, places like UTLS, for instance, they tend to give scholarships, but they still like, they don't give like that amount where like people like me who definitely need like full rides or close to full rides, like that amount ora deয় na কখনো.
Right.
So back then that already sort of solidified in my mind, and I think that's the reason why I never really looked into state schools except UTLS because Samin told me to apply. So that's the reason why I got from him like a lot of like list of universities that were like liberal arts colleges that tend to give a lot of good aid, and like other universities that tend to give a lot of good aid. That's also the reason why like among the Ivy Leagues or REIT schools, I never applied to like Stanford and Columbia and Cornell because according to Samin, like historical trends say that they don't give a lot of aid, and so I never really applied there. And yeah, so that's one of the reasons. Like that's one of the reasons why I didn't apply there. That's one of the reasons why I didn't apply to state schools. And I think after I started doing more research, and I also realized that liberal arts colleges are that whole like idea of like very small classrooms, more engagement with professors. I generally think that that's a very wholesome and a very nurturing environment, right? Compared to I think like very academically rigorous and cutthroat environments. So I definitely think that's one of the reasons why the people should definitely like, if people genuinely prefer that, they should definitely apply to like liberal arts colleges. But I do think, coming back to my first point, I think definitely aid and কতটুকু like they tend to meet a lot of aid or their average aid package, that definitely was one of the big reasons why most of, if not all of them, were like liberal arts colleges.
That's amazing. I mean, I have listened to this question a long period of time, and আমাকে মানুষ একটা question জিজ্ঞেস করে যে তুমি কেন সব public colleges apply করছো that do not give any financial aid, right? Because most of my selections were like UMass, Georgia Tech, UCLA, UC Berkeley, North Carolina Chapel. I'm জানি people একটাতে apply করছ না because they don't give financial aid. But like I would definitely say that the combination, the mixture of like the place where liberal arts colleges and public universities are similar is the fact that they let you explore a lot rather than only tech-based or engineering-based private colleges যেখানে তোমার কোনো জায়গা থাকে না. Like personally, Harvard was a dream school, but then I went to Harvard for Harvard MUN. It takes 25, 30, 40 minutes to visit the entire campus, if not 2 to 3 hours. মানে ছোট একটা জায়গা. I wanted, বুঝতে যে like we both are fazil people, we love to talk to a lot of people, so we need people and we need interactions. So yeah, that is pretty much it. But like I loved your vision towards LSCs, and if people don't know who Samin is, I'll link his YouTube in the description because he's an amazing content creator from Bangladesh, makes videos about college application. Shout out to him. Like he's an amazing person. UT Dallas assay. If anyone gets chance there, definitely go. He's gonna give you a treat. Use Dipro Prattoy 1106 as a code. Give it to him, and he's gonna give you a full treat. So yeah, that's pretty much
like big shout out to Samin. I think like he doesn't like taking credit, but he is one of the biggest reasons why I have gotten into some of the places that I've gotten in. And there will be a lot of more shout outs. Hopefully I will thank individual people individually, but like yes, Samin definitely deserves
Oscar speech like this. I would like to thank Samin. I would like to thank my parents. I would like to thank
oh god.
Yeah, but it's crazy. Like it's amazing when we already started college, but sometimes this happiness, man, the only reason why I'm here with you is because I was so happy when someone got into Yale. I was so happy when someone got into those amazing institutions. It just feels amazing, I would say. Like there's no other word to describe that. And again, congratulations, I'm gonna treat this. That's crazy. Like I loved it.
Thank you. না দিলে কি ইন্টারভিউ আর নিবি না, ইন্টারভিউ এখানে বন্ধ করে দিবি
না, তখন তুই আমার সঙ্গে থাকবি. We will be on this side of the screen and we will be taking interviews. So it's gonna work the other way around because I have a dream of like, Rafsan Shabab, like he wants to host the Oscars, so I gave him the Oscars. Like আচ্ছা ঠিক আছে তুমি এমন আমার সাথে পারবা না, so I will host the Grammys instead, right? So I'm targeting the Grammys because I'm a huge music fan. And
boycott the Grammys ফালতু
the hosts are amazing. The show is bad. I don't care. I mean, host করে চলে যাব. I'll take a picture with Billie Eilish and I will be done.
that actually reminds me, like I know you were asking me about like my gap year and everything.
Right.
Pandemic ta na hoile definitely like my partner back then and I had plans to like open like a Instagram like food blog because we used to love like hitting restaurants. I instantly food review ditam, and like we used to like take Instagram থাকে না food Instagram ছবি টবি. So we even had plans to like open a food blog, but sadly pandemic এর জন্য হয় নাই.
I get that. Like I'm against food bloggers, a couple of them. Karnora COVID aro chhoraise. Like you cannot deny that fact. Like but like yeah. I personally love this vision. Talk to us about I think this will be my second last question to you. Talk me about your rejections. I know you don't want to go back to that, but like you're gonna be like, I got into Yale University. So what were your rejections? I know that a couple of them should be, all the rankings do not matter, but like less ranked compared to Yale in certain spectrums, or I would say less prestigious. So talk to me about your rejections. Did you get rejected because তুমি এত effort দাও নাই ওসব কলেজে, নাকি you fell in that random process?
So I think one of the big reasons is the fact that my Common App personal statement, which not many people have read, like which very few people have read, it was a very risky essay. It was a very risky essay format, and I knew that it was bound to like not I won't say inside or insecure, but it was bound to like sort of fuel certain negative emotions. Right. But I think the best way to describe it is it was a very risky essay format, and I knew that some people just wouldn't like it. And I think that's one of the reasons why some colleges rejected me. So for instance, Oberlin College, I think I got rejected. I got rejected from Franklin and Marshall College. I think Bucknell rejected me as well. So that's that. Like a lot of colleges loved it as well. So I think Wesleyan and Bates. So the reason why I brought up Oberlin and Franklin and Marshall is because Oberlin, Franklin and Marshall, Wesleyan, Bates. These are 4 colleges that have no application fee, and they also don't require any supplementary essays. So it's seemingly awkward, right? It's seemingly odd that 2 such colleges rejected me and 2 such colleges took me. One of them even gave me a full ride. So it kind of shows that how subjective the uni application process is. That's, I think, one reason. The second reason is definitely, I think, like in some cases, my supplementary essays weren't good at all. So my ED university, like my ED1 university, which is Colgate University, so they did a very funny thing. They thought I was ED2. And I had to like email them and let them know that, hey, I applied ED1. And then within the span of like 14 hours, they gave me a rejection, a solid rejection to the face. So that really stung. That absolutely stung. But I think like in especially in the case of Colgate, I did not put in that much effort into like really thoroughly researching into the university. I think I mentioned very mainstream things. I think my like essays, like my supplementary essays weren't that good. Certain rejections that hurt were Northwestern. I think I definitely put in a lot of effort for my Northwestern essay, but they are so selective. And even though I think I understood their vibe, the university, I still think, I think they just didn't think I was like good enough or whatever, but they just rejected me. Swarthmore and Brown also got like a lot of effort into like their YSAs. So once again, like I felt bad that, got rejected from there. So that was also very depressing. I guess that those are the ones that hurt. And yeah, I think those are the ones that actually hurt the most. So the rest, I think I'm like, I was very surprised that Amherst waitlisted me. Like, but then again, my Amherst essays were good. I think the one that hurt the most is my Washington D. waitlist, because the Johnson Scholarship essay that I wrote, that was a good essay. Even the Princeton rejection hurt as well, because okay, I wrote good essays. I wrote good essays for my Princeton application. I am of the opinion that my Princeton essays were genuinely, in many ways, better than my Yale essays. And I even got an interview for Princeton, and that interview lasted 75 minutes. That's the longest interview I've given. It lasted over an hour, and yet I got rejected. So it hurts. It physically hurt me. I was mad at Princeton for a while, but yeah, that just shows how subjective this process is, that despite so much effort, there is just, a matter of luck sometimes where you just might get rejected. And I am incredibly lucky that I did not have to face, that and like the short end of the stick.
That definitely sums it all. I think a parta, like it's very difficult to express in words. Like tumi che physically hurt, but like I really wanted people to understand this. Je, it's not only about luck. After you have done your effort, then it comes to luck. Tumi tomar koshto korba, you are definitely gonna strive hard, and then just leave it to luck. Upore jodi God is seeing that you're doing good, tale tumi yell ba কত কিছুতে টিকে ফেলবা, and like rejections থাকবে. It's not just a one way thing. But মামা আপুর মতো লাগতেছে, I don't know why, but like are you her sister? Anyways, never mind.
No, I she's my boss, but like that makes me feel very happy. That makes me feel very happy. Wait, which mama?
Orotto Foundation mama. Like একটাই তো
কথা. Oh wait, কথা umama zindo. And then there's Tasnu Asha umama. Yeah, so, okay.
Like, the world is so small. Like, সবাইকে চেনা হয়ে যাবে. It's crazy. Like,
it's very small.
Deep crazy. But honestly, Nawal, thank you so much for today. আমি কিছু like ending questions নিয়ে শেষ করব, but I am glad that you shared your experiences, and I'm sorry for being such an amazing host. আমি জানি তুই এত ভালো হোস্টের কাছে কখনো আগে ইন্টারভিউ দেস, but like I just can't help it. I am the best. I know that you are the best. I am the best. Everyone watching this are the best. So I'm sorry. I'm just like that.
Nah, it's fine. Nah, it's fine. Like it's okay. There will be people to beat. Samin's on his way.
Yeah, definitely. So. Samin, getting you. But like. Nawal, তুমি কি নিজেকে একটা well-rounded student মনে করো নাকি you have a hook? Like
yes, this is a question that I think a lot of people ask. So I have yet to decide, or I have yet to like come to a decision about that. The reason is this, because I do have a spike, which is my debating career, and I call it a spike not because I'm into debate like I didn't go to like WSTC or World Schools, which is like the equivalent of debate World Cup in like in high school. I never got to do that. That's like equivalent of like national, international representation. That's like that's what all debaters strive to do. I failed to do that. So the reason why it became my spike is because of a number of reasons. One, because I spent literally 6 years, almost close to 6 years debating. Two, because it genuinely led to most of, if not all of my growth in terms of like as a person, in terms of like how I think, my thought process, in terms of just like building my conscience and my morality. But thirdly, because it genuinely helped me to be a better leader. I became the president of the club and like took on a lot of responsibilities, made me a responsible person and everything. Yeah, flex, but whatever. That's one of the things I'm very proud of. So I think that overall could be a spike. I think that is something I at least tried to make it a spike. But there's also room for an argument that I am also a well-rounded applicant, because there were other things where I did put in a significant amount of effort. So as I had described, like writing, I'm on effort. I've published material online. I did work, freelancing. So that definitely is like one aspect that I covered well. Community service and volunteering is something that I put a lot of effort in. And like you said, Jay, I didn't found any organizations because like you, I dislike just application or organization. Like that's just, but it just ruins the integrity of the whole thing. Like I'm gonna say, if you're going to make an organization, put some heart into it, put some effort into it, make it something that genuinely lasts. Don't make an organization that just lasts for that short period of time, and then just after application season is over, it just dies. Like I've seen this happen to multiple organizations. I've seen some people do it. I'm not gonna name them, but it is something I dislike generally. So, but wherever I tried to work, I think I tried to put in an effort into it. I tried to show that whatever I did there was meaningful. So that's something that I did. I think that's something. Wait, I lost my train of thought.
Yeah, but like it's great. I'm glad that you're sharing these words. হয়তো অনেকে আজকে বুঝতে পারবে যে Nawal Naz is not someone like that just James and the Giant পিচের থেকে বের হওয়া, like had every success with her, like she did work hard like ever since she was young, 6 বছর ধরে debate করতেছে. I typically understand that. Like, I'm glad that you are going to a lovely place. You deserve it. You wholeheartedly deserve it. And I'm just really happy for you. Let me search. What's the distance between Michigan and Yale? Tarato? I think it's around a 4 or 5 hour drive. So that's not going to be taking too much time. But yeah, that's pretty much it. So if you guys have any questions, Niche Diba and Nawal, if you want to say something, like kono kichu if you wanted to add, which might help applicants or human beings in general, go ahead. The floor is yours. আমি আসলে CNN থেকে ব্রডকাস্টিং টাইম নিছি 1 ঘন্টার, কিন্তু এটা শেষ হয়ে যাচ্ছে, বাট লাইক ইটস ফাইন, লাইক ইউ নো I'll give enough time for you. Go ahead.
So I think like to interview Shrute, or like chatter Shrute, you said Jay, like how I manage everything.
Right.
So I think that's a part of like the process that I'm learning, and I think it's also important that a lot of people learn that you shouldn't become a workaholic. আমার currently 3টা চাকরি আছে. I feel like dying all the time.
Right.
I do not like it at all. So don't do what I did, because it stifles me from learning. I have a lot of projects in mind, but I'm glad that time dite partechi na because I have become a capitalist slave. Don't do that. Right? There are so many things that you should learn in life that are important, and I think you should definitely do that. Maintaining work-study balance is important, and like it's very important to not become like the part of the capitalist machine. It's important to like learn things all the time, and just outside of your academics as well, right? Just doing online courses, or just like literally I have some things in mind, so etar jonno I'm just movie analyze kori, gan analyze kori, literally even doing stuff like that always helps. But I know a lot of people keep asking me about like ECAs and stuff and how to improve on it. Amar kotha hocche like be ambitious, go bold, right? Like literally start a business. Hey, ekta bakery khule phelo, and like literally like own and operate a business like with your friends, right? Do like constant Facebook live sessions and call it a podcast koro, or do what Dipro does, like RJ koro, or like host, like you can go host and stuff, even that's fine. And if you wanna like make people laugh like I do, then like at least like go and do stand-up comedy, right? Literally মানুষ do stand-up comedy এখন third space গিয়ে করে, এখন করতে পারতেছে না because pandemic, but you can do that. Like online যদি করতে চাও, online you can like host tournaments, host like quiz competitions, host like different kinds of competitions, invite people. It's the opportunities are endless. Like the more ambitious you are, I know it takes more work, it takes more effort, but that is something that will stand out. That is something that it's easy for you to highlight. So yeah, that's that. Sorry for the background.
Definitely. So I think আমি খাওয়া পাঠাইছি Nawalকে. I always give my guests food through the different corner of the city. So I think I have already set my food. You can definitely have a look. But yeah, like it was a crazy session, Nawal. Thank you so much. Like you were amazing. Like I think you were the best host. You are not the best guest. You were a lovely guest. You were an amazing guest. Thank you so much for tuning in. How like sound or like
wow, yele ঢুকার পর তো হতো হওয়ার পর বেস্ট কিছু আর পাইলাম না। wow, আর কি করা লাগবে? হ্যাঁ, আর কি করা লাগবে? What else do you do?
অনেক কিছু করা লাগবে।
Earn the award of best guest.
Your life has just started. Technically we are classmates because we graduated like CGS বলতেছি, graduated A levels together, but আমি এখন তোমার senior, so যা বলবো তা ভালো মতো করবা, and I wish you all the success that you have in your coming life. Thank you so much. And কমেন্টে মানুষ দিবা কিন্তু
ওকে ভাইয়া
রাস্তা এখানে অনেক ব্যস্ত, 3টা চাকরি করে, লাখ টাকা কামায় মাসে, but she says that she's open to any questions. Open to any question that there is. নিতে বলবা and she's definitely gonna reach out.
Okay, thank you so much for having me. It's been great to talk to you, and yeah, hope we can do more of these in the future, hopefully, if you have any plans or whatever. Yeah.
Definitely. So bye, take care. I think this was the first podcast of my this class of 2025 interview, so congratulations, and I'm gonna see you next time in Hollywood Boulevard. Bye.
All right, bye.